Welcome, everyone. Another day in the World Cup has concluded. He's, of course, Matt. I'm, of course, Jason. We're going to talk about today's World Cup and then, of course, preview the last round of 16, which are those fixtures tomorrow. Matt, how's it going, man?
It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, it's been at least we saw some overtime and some PKs today. That's always fun.
Yeah, I want to obviously, get your thoughts here on this knockout round. We previewed it last week. I thought I thought it's kind of gone how I thought. I thought maybe there would be some extra time, but to be fair, the games that have gone to extra time were pretty predictable. Japan and Croatia. I thought United States, Netherlands would maybe go to extra time, and then the other games, Argentina, you would have bet it in that game. You would never have bet it in England or France, and this one here against Brazil, you would have never bet it against that. So it's been a little predictable. Kind of the big boy clubs or the big boy nations have really shown up here in the knockout round and really had sweat-free, easy advances into the quarterfinals.
They did. They did. Yeah. I think that's where like the Uruguay getting eliminated, they would have given Brazil a much better showing. For example, today, like that would have been a very competitive match. But Brazil get a layup in the round of 16 against the South Koreans, who really didn't deserve it. They got to play a Portuguese B team, and match day three. And so the scheduling really worked out for South Korea. They were gifted by the schedule, really. And yeah, that kind of cost, just some more competitiveness, I guess you could say, in this tournament. But yeah, Brazil, they conceded. They look good though. I'm like looking into some of these futures markets right now, just wanting to take a look at them. Plus 175 on Allison Becker to be the Golden Glove is kind of interesting here. Need to add up some of these numbers on how many goals that these teams have conceded, but this Brazilian defense is looking pretty good.
Remind me what they do the Golden Glove. I know in Premier League it's based on the number of clean sheets. Is it the same thing in the World Cup, just the number of clean sheets?
It's just it's the least amount of goals conceded.
Okay, okay. He didn't play in match day three. He
Yeah.
played in one and two. He did give. He was on the pitch before he got subbed out. He was on the pitch where South Korea did get a goal today. Did they?
Yep.
They won the first two matches to nil, didn't they?
They did.
They did. Yeah,
They
right.
did.
Okay, so he's got to
Yeah.
be in prime shape. He's only conceded one goal then.
Yeah. He's at plus 175 and leading the market. And it's hard not to like that, I think.
Okay, so you fancy they're going to get Croatia then in the next round. They're going to roll past Croatia. Croatia's played way too many minutes. I mean, they were able to rotate here in this match against South Korea. A little shockingly, they brought off the goalkeeper instead of an outfield player and maybe bring in some fresh legs. But whatever. He obviously had enough fresh legs on there. So yeah, they're going to roll past them. That's an interesting. I can't imagine Croatia giving Brazil much of a problem, to be honest. Plus
Me
170.
either. Me either.
Plus
So
170.
yeah, I think that Croatia, yeah, this is where their road ends.
Yeah, they played too much. You saw it there against that game earlier today against Japan. Let's kind of talk about maybe the overall thoughts of knockout round. And Matt, going to lean on you here. I had a Christmas holiday breakfast on Saturday morning, so I missed all of United States Netherlands. You just want to kind of kick it off and maybe do a little recap of United States and how they fared against Netherlands. We know the result, but maybe talk about it, and then we can go back and forth on the other games.
Yeah, it was a matchup of, a team that's clinical, takes their chances well, plays good European style football versus a team that, didn't take their chances and they weren't clinical. USA had, Pulisic had the moment in the second minute to really get us off to a hot start. And then, 20 minutes later, whatever it was, 10 minutes later, the Netherlands just boom, 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 and then slots it home by Depay like that. It was a perfect counterattacking goal. Louis van Gaal talked about it after the match that they wanted to expose us on the flanks, and they
Yeah.
did. They did with their wing backs, and the fact that Greg Berhalter wasn't ready for that. I mean, we were outclassed managerially, no doubt. We were outclassed on the pitch by the players. But I did think that we put in a fairly good fight. It was at least nice that we scored. I think that the round of 16 was, I mean, that was our ceiling, in my opinion, this tournament. It just was, and so I think it was still a great tournament for the USA. I think they can hold their heads high.
Yeah, I think the way it projected, you always fancy them to face obviously the Netherlands, and then most people maybe had the Netherlands knocking them out. I thought maybe a better showing. Obviously, yeah, I thought maybe I was going to go to extra time, and then you get the extra time, and you certainly get the penalty shootouts. and anything can certainly happen. The other game on Saturday was Argentina taking on Australia. Messi popped up again and does what Messi does in big time games and big time moments, and helped carry them to a win over Australia. Our guy Alvarez obviously bagged a sweet goal and cashed the good futures for anybody who tailed that bet. They relatively got past Australia. They nicked one there late, but it was comfortable. France was super comfortable over Poland. Never in doubt against Poland. Poland did get a goal, late on a penalty, but that one was really, really easy. And then what was the other game on Sunday? Was it France? Oh, the England, Senegal. They just kind of rolled over them. That was another one where just too much quality on the pitch. You saw it there with Henderson and Bellingham. Really, to me, really just Bellingham. He's going to be in the Premier League, I would say, this summer. He's getting snatched up. Somebody's going to buy him, and he's going to be fun to watch every single weekend.
Yeah, yeah, he looks great. You could really say that it's one thing that's been nice is that these knockout games, there hasn't been an upset. The better
Right.
teams have gone through, and that creates a better tournament all around when we get to this Elite Eight here that we're getting ready to touch into. And here tomorrow, like, when we do get into this card tomorrow, I mean, I'm not so sure that both of these favorites will win. I can see that Switzerland posing some problems to Portugal. I really can. I think this is like a kind of a golden generation Swiss side. And I can see Morocco causing Spain a few concerns. So I wonder if this round of 16 will just continue to stay clean with the best teams going through, or if we will have an upset on the cards.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous there for mainly. I don't know if I'm nervous for Spain or nervous for Portugal, but I think there'll be a little contrast. I think you get one game, you could maybe get a little high scoring, and maybe the other game, you could get a little low scoring. Let's just jump on into it. Let's start with Morocco versus Spain. A Spain team that's got plenty of firepower, and a Morocco team throughout this tournament we've seen that's got plenty of firepower, and a Morocco team that's got a great defense. They've only conceded one goal this World Cup, and it was an own goal in their last fixture. So I really fancy Morocco's chances. I think this smells like a both teams will score. And why am I getting it around plus 120 on various sports books? I love the attack for both of these. I feel like that's probably going to be my best bet in this game is maybe a both teams to score. Trying to pick a winner. I fancy if any of these underdogs can do it. I thought Japan had a good opportunity. They did come out today in that first half. They kind of switched up their tactics as opposed to being strong in the second half, which I think that was a letdown. I think he should have stuck to his halftime subs and really just kind of stuck with what was going, bring on the fresh legs. Thought they kind of sat back a little bit in that second half and let Croatia kind of grow into the game. But anyways, back to Morocco, Spain. I like everything about Morocco. Love the defense. Again, conceded one goal via the own goal. And then their offense has been really bright going forward. I'm liking both teams to score. Matt, am I crazy?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. This match is tough. Like, it's hard to gauge because you're trying what you're trying to do is you're trying to gauge Morocco's group versus Spain's group, and there's two completely different things. I mean, Morocco, they played Canada. They were pretty poor this tournament, I thought, really, in terms of just being naive. Belgium had an awful tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Croatia, that was a lifeless game. Like they let's just say this: Morocco has not come up against a classier side than what they're about to face. They have not. Um, I think that Morocco has a few players with some individual brilliance. Like if they're going to sit back and then maybe try to play like on the counter through the right hand side of Hakimi. I mean, Hakimi could be the best player in this match. Like Morocco might have the best player individually, but I mean, he's a wing back defender. How much of an impact does that make? And then Ziyech on the right. So they've got that beautiful combination, though, of
Mm-hmm.
I would be playing on the right flank a lot through Hakimi and Ziyech. Hakimi and Ziyech just keep working that flank against, someone like Jordi Alba, who he's a player that doesn't want to defend. That's one thing that we've learned about Jordi Alba over the last 4 or 5 years is he's a guy that he doesn't want to engage in defending really whatsoever. He's a front foot fullback. So that is one area where I think that Spain can get caught out. Um, but it's a tough one for me to predict. I really don't have a feel on. I think that the market lines are more than fair. I think that I would have Spain in this minus 160, minus 170 range where they are. The total at 2.5. I mean, I think that a lot of these games do tend to lean themselves to being overs, Jason, just because like I would probably rather be on the over 2.5, I guess, than both teams to score is my point. Because once that goal happens, you hope that it happens in the first half. If it does happen in the first half, this game will most likely go over because that's
Hmm.
just the way this tournament has been. But yeah, this isn't one of my stronger opinions, really.
Yeah, I think of these two games tomorrow, I think this is the over one, and maybe Portugal Switzerland could maybe an under game. We'll get your thoughts on that one. I think of the day, Morocco's got a better chance to knock off Spain just with what they've been able to do. I know you mentioned the nations that they've gone up against, and that's got to be taken into account. But Japan was able to beat Spain, and Germany got a goal past Spain. I think Morocco's got a better chance against Spain than Switzerland does perhaps up against Portugal. I We'll see what I settle on. I haven't quite locked in a bet yet. I'm gonna more than likely be on the both teams to score and hope we could, a good game of football in this one. And I expect maybe over 2.5 if that goal does happen in the first half, like you mentioned. I think you definitely get an over 2.5. But I'll stick to probably both teams to score. You kind of saw it there in that Japan Croatia game. If you're holding on to an over 2.5 and you get to minute like 70, 75, it just shut down and get the extra time. So maybe I wouldn't want to quite be on that over 2.5 and maybe just be on the both teams to score. That game, that last 15 minutes was, you just had like a foul every too often and just really interrupted that game and just took the flow right up out of it.
Yeah, I had I did a couple big tickets on that one. I went I did Japan to win the first half and then Croatia to win the game.
Oh,
That
wow.
was at that was at 30 to 1. And I did the opposite side of that too. If Croatia won the first half, Japan to come back, that was at 45 to 1. So then I was in a position like right when the Croatian goal occurred in the second half where I was texting a buddy. I was like, what should I pull here? He's like, probably 1-1 exacta,
Yep.
and that's what I did. And it did slow down, so I got a nice like a little hedge there and was able to win a little bit of money on it.
Yeah, I was on fire with that game. I hit my 2 unit play, Japan on the double chance. It hit my lean of it being a draw, hit my lean of it being under 2.5, and hit my lean of it going to penalty shootout. Look at Croatia. That's what they do when they get in these, whether it's the Euro or the World Cup. They must always go to extra time in the knockouts, and more times than not, they go to penalty outside of one time in Russia in 2018. So I don't
Yeah.
know if that's going to happen against Brazil. I don't know if they're going to go to extra time. I don't know if they're going to be able to hang on for 90 minutes, but that's just what they've been. I thought that was a very easy game to handicap and get in a good bet. And like I said, cash a good 2 unit one. All right, Morocco, Spain. You don't. So it sounds like you haven't locked in a bet. Then I'm. That's what I'm getting at.
No, I'm more interested in this one.
Okay, well, tell me, Portugal, Switzerland. What are we interested in?
Yeah, I think that the Swiss are going to be able to hang here. I really do. I think that they set up pretty well in this one to frustrate Portugal. I think that they know how to play in these kind of knockout matches. I think that they've got tons of experience when you look at their roster, and I think that they can make this match go long. Is what I'm like. I can see this easily going to overtime.
Hmm.
So that means I'm grabbing the double chance. You can find it at somewhere at plus 100 to minus 110, depending on where you're looking. And that's where I'm going to go here. I really do like this Swiss side. Um, I'm not sold on Portugal. I'm not sold on Portugal. I thought that a crazy game against Ghana, that was fine. I thought that the Uruguay result 2-0 doesn't tell the full story of that game at all. And then their B side, you kind of throw the South Korea game out. But I thought that for the most part, Uruguay were a slightly better side, but they lost. And then Ghana, I didn't think that they were overly impressive, and I thought that Switzerland were incredibly impressive against Serbia to go down 2-1.
Hmm.
Very hectic kind of game. They played Brazil tough when that match really mattered still, and they were able to grind out a result against Cameroon by not conceding as much. So I just think that this game's going to be close. I think, and I can see Switzerland advancing. Let's just say that I can see this one being the upset.
This one to me feels like a carbon copy of Japan, Croatia, and almost like a carbon copy of Brazil, Switzerland. In that Switzerland will certainly hang. I agree. I expect this one to more than likely be 0-0 at halftime. And just like I gave out leans in Japan, Croatia of a draw, an under, and maybe a penalty shootout, I see all that happening right here. know if I'll probably dabble in the double chance. I think this one I'll probably just do maybe an under or quite possibly a draw. I guess I'm not as high on Switzerland. I guess than you. I like their toughness. They've been in the situations where they're used to having to defend, so I like their ability just to kind of frustrate Portugal for very long periods of time. Don't know if they quite have the counter-attacking ability to punish a lot of squads. I thought that game against Switzerland was good, or the one against Serbia was good because it was kind of a little bit more of an open game of football. If Portugal is going to get more of the possession here, not sure that Switzerland can quite punish them. So that's why I just like the low scoring, the draw, and everything. The penalty shootout and all of that. That's what this one feels like. Kind of like Japan, Croatia to me.
Yeah, I think this one goes a long time. So that's where I'm at. I want to get in and I want to get out after the 90 minutes. I don't really have a feel for over like other, if it continues to go on. I mean, this is one though. I mean, you would be inclined to sprinkle in some, how does this match officially, go where, you could have both games, both teams on your side in terms of to win in pens, at some big prices, like or maybe around the tens. I'm trying to pull those things up right now. Those are some fun bets I think to have because the longer it goes, it generally does tend to lean itself into penalties.
I was just going to ask, is there a sports book? Because I couldn't find one, and I would have given out Croatia, Japan a sprinkle on the penalty shootout. Because again, that's what happens in Croatia when you get the knockout. But I couldn't find a sports book that offered, like will there be a penalty shootout? I would have given that bet out at a sprinkle because it's got to be good plus money.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's everywhere. That is a market that every single book wants to take action on.
Oh man, I gotta find that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta let me
everywhere.
know.
I'm trying to find it right now on Barstool. I'm not right now at this moment, but I know that it was there. It's there for DraftKings, FanDuel. It's all there. Everyone wants a little piece of that market.
Okay, all right. Gonna do a little. This is the only two games we're really going to talk about here on the show. This one will be a quick one, and then we will come back with you guys Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We've got four quarterfinal matchups to break down on Wednesday, and that's what we'll do at 4 p.m. Eastern. I want to do a little look in here. I want to look at this double chance that you've kind of mentioned. I also want to kind of get your thoughts, Matt. Keeping with the soccer theme here, I want to get your thoughts on what about Ronaldo going to Saudi Arabia for the rest of this season, the next 2 years for 200 million per year. To me, it just feels like an absolute dumb move for a dude that loves to be in the spotlight and once the camera's on him. I have no idea what the Saudi Arabian league is. I'm sure that crap's not on channel. I'm sure they're going to want to try to put it on TV. They're going to try like hell to find a broadcasting TV broadcaster to put it on TV, but whether they can do that or not, why is he doing this? Nobody's gonna, for a guy that loves being in a spotlight, he's gonna be just on an island all by himself.
I mean, dude, the money is absurd though.
Just chasing the bag.
I mean, yeah, I mean it's so much money. It's just like it's so gross that it's like
Yeah.
you can't even say anything. Like you just can't. It's just so much money and like as long as Messi's then leaving to go to MLS and they're both leaving Europe at the same time, I think that's fine. I think that's fine as long as like one isn't staying and trying to set some more records and the other one's kind of off. I think if they both kind of bow out of Europe for a year or two, and then next thing you know, a few years later, they're like, I kind of want to come back and give it one more last hurrah. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much money. There's just nothing that you can even really say. It's just go grab it, go grab the bag.
Whatever he does in that league, I don't count any goals he scores or any goals I don't count anyone. None of that's going to count in that league. Of nobody knows anybody in that. I don't care if he gets goals every game. So I don't count it. Don't tell me. Don't add it to his tally. All right, I'm seeing both teams to score a good plus money. I'm seeing your Switzerland double chance at around even money, as you said. It's basically even money. What's the draw in that game? Plus 250.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that. So you actually think Switzerland can pull it off? That's why you want the double chance on them. You think maybe they could get the win?
I think they can get the win. I do. I think they're slightly undervalued, but it won't be easy. Like it won't. That's why I'd rather have the two outcomes with me. I think it could be either.
Let me see what under 2.5 goals is in that one. That's minus 145. That's not terrible. Both games are minus 145. The odds are exact same. Both the Morocco Spain's minus 145. Or is the over and the overs are basically plus 120?
Yeah, yeah. That, I expect one of these dogs is going to show out. I think it'll be Switzerland.
I'm not seeing any. Oh, whoa. Jan Sommer is questionable. Are you kidding me? This dude can
Uh,
single. I've seen him single handedly win a lot of games for Gladbach. I'm seeing him
oh
in
yeah,
illness. Are we kidding me? He's out with it. He's going to be questionable. He's got to play. Are you kidding me? On illness,
it's going to be fine.
he's going to be fine. I tell you what, maybe I don't lock in a. I mean, you don't want to hold on to anything Switzerland without Jan Sommer. I can tell you that.
I agree. I agree. He is one of those influential goalies that you need to have. Like it's like checking all the boxes before you
Right.
make a bet. Yeah, you gotta have that one tick for sure.
There's no way an illness is going to keep this. Otherwise, I'm not seeing really any other for Portugal. This doesn't feel. What's the referee? Oh, some guy from a Mexico league. I'd have to full on research him. He's not in the European league, so I can't speak on that. I don't imagine this one be. Although you did get your cards in Serbia, Switzerland, but that was different. I mean, that was Serbia, Switzerland, not Serbia or not Switzerland, Portugal.
I still think though that they could be worth a look. I thought that Switzerland were a pretty feisty team. They wanted to engage in fouls, and they were the ones at the beginning. I was holding a Serbia over 2.5 cards ticket as well as the over 4.5, and was like, shit, is it just going to be like Switzerland one-way traffic on these cards? So Portugal, they've got some guys that really like to engage in some tackles. So and I'm pretty sure also like that the cards. Here's the other thing too: is the cards have been like wiped out now as we get to the round of 16.
Mm-hmm.
So players aren't like scared at least to go and to get in there. Like some a player to look towards in this matchup is obviously someone like Granit Xhaka. The price isn't going to be incredible by any means, but for Granit Xhaka to be booked, that's very appealing because he is a guy that likes to really get in there and do his damnedest to like stop counterattacks, and he likes to slide and kind of expose himself a little bit. So I think that Granit Xhaka to be carded is definitely worth a little look.
I thought he would have gotten carded against Brazil because I expected Brazil to have the ball, and I thought they would just frustrate them for so long, and then he would. But he only got one card, and it was against the Serbia game. He didn't pick one up against Brazil. He didn't pick one up against Cameroon. I think it was Cameroon in that group. Um,
Mhm.
it looks like a 0-0 correct score at that game is plus 145. Not price shopping, but just a random book. I could see 0-0. I don't. Are we
I mean,
expecting?
0-0 would have to be bigger than plus 145.
No, no, no. Just for a halftime result.
Oh, halftime. Yeah. I don't mind that. I'm really looking at this plus 280 on Granite Xhaka to be booked. I think that
280. Whoa, that's way mispriced.
I think that is mispriced. I feel like he's always around the plus 160 range.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you wherever you're looking at, it's plus 280. DraftKings is plus 140. That's where he should be, around there.
Okay.
Is this our favorite book points bet? That we need to hammer them again?
This is Barstool. This is
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah.
This is the wrong price.
Oh, big time.
This is the wrong price. Plus 280 is far too big. Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
That one's being added. I'm going to double check here right now on DraftKings, but I think that this one's getting popped, and it's going to get popped right now.
Let me look up this referee here for you, whatever this Ramos guy is. Let me see him.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Let me look him up.
Yeah, Granite Jacket to be carded plus 140 on DraftKings.
I
Is this
that
to get a card
that's
plus 280?
here he is.
That is
Nice.
wrong.
That's
Oh, this is off market.
let's see this guy.
I wouldn't be spread. This won't last long either. This won't last the night.
All right. Oh, he's been in this. He gave out 3 cards in Morocco's 2-0 win over Belgium. He gave out 3 cards in Denmark, Tunisia 0-0. And then in this Mexican league, I mean, one game had 4 cards in a red, one game had 2 reds and 7 yellows, another game had 7 yellows, 3 yellows, a straight red, 8 yellows, a double yellow. This guy's looks, you know, pretty card. You're getting cards.
I think that the fair value on Jaka is about 2 to 1. So you see some of these books, I think that they're mispricing theirs and they're just ripping off customers essentially by throwing out a plus 140. I think that that's the wrong price, but I think it's somewhere right in the middle. It's somewhere in the middle of plus 140 and plus 280, and the fact that I'm seeing plus 280 right now
I'll
is
tell you,
that makes it a bet.
obviously we follow the Premier League really heavy. He's kind of combed it down on his yellow cards, even in the Premier League this season. I'm not sure if Arteta's gotten in his ear or something, but he's not as um, yellow cards. Looks like Nicholas, he likes the under in yellow cards. I'm not sure which match he's referring to. Let me look at this Morocco Spain ref. Another one from Argentina. I'd have to full on look him up. He's not a European ref. Let's see what this guy does.
Yeah, plus 280 is the freaking wrong price.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely not 280 for Granit Xhaka. He's getting basically the way you look at that, folks, is he going to get a card 1 out of every 3 games? Well, he already got it in the group stage. He picked up a card in Matchday 3, so you would have gotten more. You would have gotten zero point 0.8 units of profit if you bet him every game in the group stage at plus 280. He should not be plus 280.
Should
All right,
not be.
here's this Argentine referee. He was the referee for your 11 yellow cards in your Serbia Switzerland game. This is that referee. He gave out
Okay.
one for Croatia Morocco, and then in the Argentina league 8-5-2, 8-5-10-5. Yeah, he's pretty card heavy.
To be honest, though, I have to say he was keeping it in his pocket for a long time. I thought in that like the Serbia Switzerland game, I thought that there should have even been more cards. It didn't. It just had the late match drama
Yeah,
to make it crazy, but like it still really was like supposed to. It was sitting right there at about 4, and it just boiled over from the two countries just with absolute hatred towards one another. I don't expect that that kind of that showing again, but I'm just trying. I need to find out. Okay, so since Granit Xhaka picked up a card in the third match, does that have any significance to this? And if he were to pick up a yellow, would he miss the quarterfinal?
I know it was obviously 2 cards in the group stage, and you were suspended for the next match. You would think it's like Champions League; they kind of reset, but I'd have to you. So Nicholas likes the under in Spain Morocco as the match he likes under cards in. I hear that. I don't think Spain has been card. I've ever seen it's Costa Rica. They probably didn't get anything. Hell, they didn't have to do anything. I don't even think they made one tackle. Yeah, they only got one against Germany. You figured that would have been cagey, and they got
Okay, so
none. And they got none against Japan. I hear you, Nick. I hear you.
here we
Man.
go. It does get carried over. So if Granit Xhaka were to pick up a yellow card in this match, and he did pick up a yellow card in the group stage.
Yeah, he in that game against Serbia, he picked one up.
Okay. So yeah. So then that would carry over. He would miss the quarterfinal. So
That's scary.
that's honestly that's why Barstool's Barstool who is their book it's like something
Camby.
it's overseas, right?
Yeah, they use
That's
Camby.
like you get more of like the European numbers on Barstool and Bet Rivers, and so like that's a European price, and it's probably priced right then. Like that's the correct price because he's already on one. But that doesn't mean that he's even somebody like has Fabian Schär been carded at center half.
He's a
Yeah,
Swiss center half.
yeah, he's the guy. He plays for Newcastle.
Oh, that guy. Gotcha. Well, let's have a look.
Let's have a look. He's always kind of feisty in my opinion.
Not against Cameroon. Not against Brazil. And let's see if he was one of these card happy guys here in the.
He was in the
Yep.
last fucking seconds.
The last card, the 99th minute, he picked one up.
But again, like some of it, like still can be
The
thrown out
cards
the
just
window.
came flying out at the end. To your point.
There's going to be a couple bookings here. Like even somebody like Manuel Akanji has Akanji been booked.
Yep, match day 1 against Cameroon.
They're really pricing these things into it, which
You're
is
talking about the City defender, right?
yep.
Yeah, he was a match day one booking.
I'm telling you, this is an opportunity though, like to find someone that is on the Switzerland. Let's say he's in the starting 11. He's a midfielder or something, or even a defender, whatever, and he hasn't been carded yet. You better believe that like those guys know that, and they will be making like sterner, like more forceful challenges. So it's definitely something to keep in mind.
Okay. All right. Before we hang up, whether you've betted it or not, and we know you have, what's your best bet? My best bet: Morocco, Spain is going to be both teams to score, and my best bet in Portugal, Switzerland is going to be a draw. What are your best bet for each game, whether you bet it or not?
Yeah, no, just Switzerland on the double chance. I think that they can hang with this Portuguese side for 90 minutes. I kind of see extra time there, and but yeah, Spain and Morocco, that'll be an in play job. Kind of want to see the flow there. I can see that one being kind of low scoring for a while, I guess. Like, you would like to think that Morocco will set up deep, try to frustrate Spain, and Spain might not be able to make the breakthrough for quite some time. Like, that's kind of what's been known for the Spanish side for a few years now. Sometimes they do struggle to make that breakthrough on the goal. And so that's where, like, getting into some first half draw action, I could see that being a look.
First half draw. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Remind everybody we do come back with you guys next. It'll be Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll break down the 4 quarterfinals matchups. Where on Friday we have the Netherlands and Argentina. Then we'll have Brazil and Croatia. And Saturday, I can't wait to talk about France and England on Wednesday. That's a match I absolutely cannot wait to talk about. And then joining them will either be Morocco, Spain, versus Portugal or Switzerland will be the other quarterfinal match on Saturday. Again, we'll break those down Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time and share any bets with you we have. All right, Matt, enjoy the last round. Match day round of 16 tomorrow. Morocco, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland.
Yeah, they'll be good ones. Yeah, this quarterfinal is shaping up to be really, really nice.
Yeah, and to your point, with no upsets, it's going to be great matchups. You know what though? Don't think it's going to be goals. Every time we think it's going to be a good matchup, it's usually a snooze fest, and it's under 2.5 comes in easy when you get when you get big clubs or big nations going at each other.
Totally.
So we'll break them down on Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Good luck with your bets tomorrow, fellas. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you then.